So when we talk about the crossing, there are different modes of crossing. There are two modes of crossing. One is a journal crossing. A check is said to be crossed generally when it bears across its face in addition of the words and company or any abbreviation that of between two parallel lines either with or without the words not negotiable. Means when the two parallel lines are being drawn on the top of the check, it includes that this is a journal crossing. It may be with the words and company or with or without the words not negotiable. So the two parallel transverse lines simply either with or without the word not negotiable goes for the journal crossing. So this is the example of that. In first case, only two transverse lines are being drawn. In second case, and company is mentioned. In third case, and company is mentioned, but the way is different of writing the word and as well as the company. In second case, it was the abbreviation which was being used, and in third case, it is the complete words which are being used. In fourth case, in the two parallel transverse lines, this is not negotiable. And fifth, in it is mentioned not negotiable and company, means both type of the words are being used. That means the two transverse parallel lines with or without any words means and company and not negotiable makes the checks with the journal crossing. So when a check is crossed journally, the payee banker shall not pay it other than to a banker. Means the check would be paid only to a banker. The drawee bank is not to make the payment of the check at the counter because it's a crossed check, but the payment is to be made only to another bank who collects the check on the behalf of the holder of the check. The holder may get the check collected through some bank. Only when the bank is not involved, it would not be collected, and collecting bank may be any bank of the choice of the holder. Means the holder may be the true holder may be the any finder of the lost check or anyone else, but the choice of the bank may be the holder's choice, but it should go by some, it should go through some bank only. Second type of crossing is the special crossing. Special crossing, along with the normal crossing, general crossing, it should include the name of the banker to be added on the face of the check, either with or without the words of not negotiable. Here, transverse lines are not necessary for a special crossing, but the name of the banker is the main important thing to be included. Special crossing makes the check more safer than a general crossing. So in case of special crossing, it is a duty of the bank on whom it is drawn to pay it only through the banks are mentioned. As in case of general crossing, it is upon the wish, upon the will of the holder of the checks to choose the bank. But in case of special crossing, the banker is being mentioned, so it would be cleared only through the specified bankers mentioned on the check. So this is the format of the special crossing. One, only the name of the bank is being mentioned, that is State Bank of India. In case, second case, it is mentioned in the two transverse parallel lines, that is a State Bank of India. Third one is the similar. Fourth case, third one is the account payee State Bank of India. That means here we have mentioned the account payee and we have also mentioned the State Bank of India. And in fourth case, like in case of general crossing, the words not negotiable are being used, and with that not negotiable, the name of the banker is also being added, that is the State Bank of India. That means in case of special crossing, with or without the parallel lines, with or without the two parallel transverse lines, or without the use of word the not negotiable, the crossing is with made, the main essential thing which is to be present, that is the name of the banker in case of special crossing. Now we come to payment of checks crossed specially more than once. This is a special provision under section 127 that a check cannot be crossed more than one, except where the second crossing is a banker as an agent for collection. That means a check can be crossed, either it's a general crossing or it's a special crossing, can be done only once, but only a single exception is there. The second crossing is to be done by a banker for an agent for collection of the check. So next, let's discuss the restrictive crossing. This type of crossing has been adopted by commercial and banking usage. It has the effect of restricting the payment in certain ways. In such kind of crossings, the words account pay only or pays account are being added, and this makes the checks non-transferable, which is the exception to others one. That means here the words are being used account pay only or pays account only are being added to make a check to be the non-transferable. Let's see the format, the specimen of the same. One is the account pay. Second option is the account pay and no negotiable. Third one is State Bank of India account Ramlal. That means here the main important thing is to add the account of the payee. That means the person, the account of the payee to whom the payment is to be made is to be mentioned in the two transferred parallel lines on the face of the check. Now, not negotiable crossing, which is being covered under section 130. A check may be crossed with the words not negotiable on it. It makes the check not negotiable, which means endorsee will not acquire a title better than that of a endorser. The holder in due course does not get any better title as it was in case of all the other negotiable instruments. Here the holder in due course would not get the better title than the transferor. If the transferor had the defective title, the title of the holder in due course will also become defective, which is the major difference between all other negotiable instruments than the check. Who can cross a check? It's a very important point. We have read about that the crossing can be done to the check to avoid any kind of loss and for the protection of the owner of the check. But the question is, who can cross a check? The first one is the drawer, the person who draws a check. When the drawer issues the check, he can cross the check. He may do the general crossing or he may do some special crossing. The holder of the check, if the check is not crossed, he can cross it generally or specially. Means I got the check, it was a bearer check, so I am the holder of the check, I can cross it if it was not crossed. But if the check is crossed generally, I can make it specially crossed. But if the check is crossed generally or specially, he may add the words not negotiable on the check. Third is the banker to who is going to make the payment. So if the check is not crossed and sent to bank for the collection, banker can cross the check generally. But if the check is crossed generally already and it is being sent to the bank for the collection, bank can cross the check specially. But if the check was crossed specially already, then to the banker to whom it is crossed, then the banker may again cross it specially to another banker for the collection. As we have read, there is only this case where the check can be crossed twice.